Okay. I'll watch the comments. You should be able to hear me when I'm on stream off mic.
That's such a banger, Joshua. Thank you so much for making such amazing beats. I
Anytime.
love that we have theme songs for our spaces, for our projects, and it's amazing. So, good morning, good afternoon, good evening for anybody in the audience, in the panel, in the streams. I'm sure Uncle Funk is streaming this everywhere, so we're gonna have hundreds of viewers, if not thousands. Excited for this space to happen today. Gonna say a quick hello to Jason behind the Citadel account. Then we pass the mic around. Blush, we gotta sort out your microphone. If you can give us a quick mic check after Jason says hello, let's give it a shot. Today, I want you to drop in alpha like you did last Sunday, because we need to amplify the message and the way we're gonna be here changing lives. Jason, mic is yours.
Well, I'll keep it nice and brief, and I'll say hello.
That's nice and brief. Good day to you, my man. Alrighty, Blush, mic check. Think that you gotta sort out the mic thingy up there, but I'll try with you in a little moment. Unks, a quick hello to the people tuning in from X. They were all coming from the arena where community rocks. But yeah, Mike is yours to say a quick hello, and then I'm gonna start dropping some interesting questions, which I truly want Blush to answer to.
Thank you. I'm just watching the chat on Citadel. Can you guys hear me? And can you guys, I mean, on Citadel, on Arena Social, can you guys hear me and Senior Choice and Jason? Can you hear us? I know that the peeps here on X, they can hear us. It doesn't seem like they can hear us on Funk Show. Okay, they can. Thank you, B. Okay, and then Leonard, by far the best way to do X spaces is from your phone. Don't even bother trying from PC. You will hate your PC. You will hate X. You will hate humanity. You'll be sad. You know, all these things will happen. Besides that, hello everybody. Love you. Don't eat your own poo.
That's great advice, because I think that we need to be aware of not eating our own food. Love having you here, Uncle. Alrighty, we got another speaker here. Code Zero. Let's go. We created group chat earlier, and now you're here in the space. I'm going to pass you the mic for an intro. It's an honor having you. Welcome. We build and say.
GMG everyone. Just doing a quick mic check.
Good,
Yep,
loud
you
and
are
clear.
audible.
Cool. So yes, this is J from Code Zero. Long story short, what we are building is basically a liberation engine for decentralized capital markets. So basically, anyone who wants to tokenize their tech ideas can now do it on top of us in like two simple steps. First of all, they just need to put in their idea in just simple English prompts. And then they can just wipe code that idea on top of our platform. And then they can tokenize it on maybe the world's fastest blockchain that is Phase. So yeah, that's a bit quick intro about us and what we are building.
Amazing. Love having you here. Welcome to our panel. And just for you to know, doors are open. We host the spaces on a weekly basis. Hans hosts the show every single day, including Saturdays and Sundays. So yeah, there's plenty of places we can share. But from my end, Tuesdays and Thursdays, same time, 6 p.m. UTC, we have here amazing panels, amazing conversations. On Tuesdays, we bring all of our NGO ladies who are doing all the hard work on the ground in South Africa. They rock. And on Thursdays, we shine light upon the Citadel because all of the roads lead to the Citadel. And you're going to find out why. Lush, I'm going to give you a new mic check because first question is coming towards you. Okay, I think Blush is still
Is
struggling
Blush-
with his microphone.
Is Blush in the room
Hey
with
guys,
us?
I completely lost you in between. Are you able to hear me now?
Yeah, we can
Yep.
hear you. You're good.
Yeah. If there was some question, can you like repeat if that's a possibility?
All right. Yes. Okay. Let's start with this question. And now that you're opening your mic, I would like to throw it your way. Then last Sunday, our community was faced with a term that we were making fun of, but it's a very important one. So the letters for this is LSM, right? Are you aware of what an LSM is?
Not sure about it. Like LSM. I'm not sure about this. Like, if you can give a brief about it.
You're in the right place. Jay, would you like to break it down while Blush is back to break it even more?
Yeah, absolutely. So for us, building economies and building everything that we're doing with the Citadel, with Operation Safe Place, and essentially all the projects and games that we're bringing out is taking an economic baseline as a starting point. So the LSM is the living standards measure, and it's essentially calculating the Blush has the best way of describing this. It's been his wheelhouse recently. So it's us taking essentially the lowest common denominator and seeing how, like from our community, from our users, and seeing how we can empower them through play to own to earn systems and bring them out of the most, I would say, horrific levels of poverty through social interaction, through gameplay, through entertainment. And we have seen this in action already in some early play to earn games, namely Axie Infinity did a wonderful job, but with a terrible, unsustainable model. But people saw the potential in turning games into something more than games. But when you create enough economic flywheels that are there to ensure sustainability for a company whilst benefiting the end user, then you have something very beautiful, something very powerful on your hands. So, that is what we're all about. We're about building amazing games, building amazing communities and amazing products, and empowering the user no matter where they are or what economic background they have. There's zero barrier to entry, and through participation, you can scale your way up through the different levels economically that exist.
Oh, that was amazing, Jay. Appreciate that big time. Is it some of tier codex?
Interesting. So basically, this can be considered uh, as so basically, I was like exploring more about these leaderboards or these info files. So this is more of a leaderboard where you need to like upgrade your upgrade yourself into the game, maybe into the game economics or maybe into the Citadel world by like doing something and by proving something. So it's an interesting thing over around. But yes, on that note, I wanted to like retouch if we can do it either right now or in the end. What went wrong with the GameFi? Because I have not been much bullish on it since day zero, right? I was never a big fan of a dual token economy, maybe a trading token and then a game utility token. So you guys are the masters in the gaming space. You have been building since a while. So I wanted to touch up upon that. Like if we have time and if we can like do that here. So what went wrong in those dual economies in the gaming sector? Like it was the gaming sector only that evolved that off, and then like there were like many projects like Axie Infinity which evolved with that. I guess Steppen also had a similar kind of structure, and others as well. I believe this thing, the Metaverse, what was that? The Sandbox, like they
Well,
recently closed their operations. So wanted to like touch up upon that.
I mean, it's a brilliant question, and I think it's one that many projects have been trying to answer. Like the early days of play to earn, we can only view it as like the early days of the gaming industry itself. You know, there's a lot of trial and error, there's a lot of experimentation, new industry, new mechanics, and so if you are a pioneer in something, there's always the danger that you're going to fall foul of something that you don't anticipate, especially at scale. So the premise of play to earn is fantastic, but the studios themselves have to be backed up by, you know, different revenue routes, different. There has to be money coming in for there to be money going out, and also the dual token economies that were created at the sort of inception of play to earn were very broken, hyperinflationary. There wasn't enough demand for the tokens within the games themselves, and they were just being farmed out because the games, instead of focusing on assets like every other traditional game has and building an economy around the assets, they were focusing on just the token, be it one token or be it two tokens. And that creates a lot of problems. Where if you've got a game where all of your assets are usable, they're tradable, they're upgradable, then you've got the baseline for what has worked in the gaming industry for decades. Right? Like there's no shortage of demand in CSGO for skins, for items, for, you know, for everything in Dota, in League of Legends, in Fortnite. In Web3, there's been an obsession over forced utility on token and token economies that just do not work from the get-go. Like in order to build up a token economy within games, there has to be a substantial user base, there has to be natural demand, and you can't force economies like that into games. You have to allow economies within games to scale themselves. Players will always find a way to create an economy within a game, be it Web 2 or Web 3. We've seen that in tons of games in Web 2, RuneScapes, Counter-Strike, Clash of Clans, you name it. Where there's a player base, there's always going to be a gray or a black market in Web 2. And in Web 3, we've got all the tools to actually enable these markets. It just hasn't been used in the right way. So what we focus on with the Citadel, with OSP, is heavily asset-driven economies, where your players are ultimately the drivers behind the economies. and you give them value. You give them good quality games. You give them a reason to participate at every level, be it socially or be it in-game. That's the big differentiator.
Jason,
That's
your
an important.
rant just yeah, go for it, Codex, Code Zero.
Yeah, that's an interesting take. But then in the end, if we think it of in a way that yes, users are a real important asset for like literally to bring in revenue in any business, right? Be it in the gaming or maybe in any business that we do. But then I just thought of it in a way that okay, let's say there's a utility token, say XYZ, and then there is a token pair that is trading, let's say ABC, and that's a dual economy. Now how we can think it of as a success, let's say okay, inflation is a factor that might be that might make the token worthless over the long run, but let's consider a bull case scenario. Maybe let's say the XYZ, which is the utility token, maybe that can be utilized again and again and again in game, and then maybe then there could be like a point system, just like how maybe any of the DeFi app might be doing it, or maybe any of these InfoFi apps are doing it in the terms of maybe Yap, Snap, or whatever they call it. And then there could be a conversion ratio to it, and then something could have been like over those lines. So, what's your thoughts over this, or else it was a failure in that direction as well, if in case that would have been implemented?
I mean, it's a good question. Like, it's the lessons that have been, I would say, that have been learned over the past 6-7 years in like crypto gaming are your product just has to have demand. You know, it's like if you build a good game, but your game its only focus is around a token, you're never going to get anywhere. Like unless you are literally just building something like a GambleFi product. In that case, you know, there's likely to be extended demand on said token. You just focus on building the basic economics or the basic economic design that has worked for decades, and you build upon that, and you bring in the new layers of economy that Web3 enables. Like that's from my side pretty much what it boils down to. Like in our case, we've got an in-game currency that is also our social currency. It's not a cryptocurrency, but it can be spent on in-game assets for all of our games. And then we have our actual cryptocurrency, which is tied to the ecosystem as a whole, as like to the studio as a whole, to the platform as a whole. It has token utility within the game. But our focus isn't just around that token, because you end up alienating the majority of a user base of games if you're just obsessing over the token. Like build smartly, attract the right users, and your token, the value of your company as a whole, will rise. But you have to focus on all aspects, and you have to have a smart focus on all aspects.
Interesting. And
Alrighty.
yeah, you can like take it, Kois. But yeah, I had like a couple of more questions, and like I'll just like dig up the minds. But yeah, the stages are yours now.
Thank you. Yeah, I just want to check the mic for Blush. He's breaking it down a really good way. Jason has done an amazing way too. I could rant on that answer as to why Web3 gaming has been failing over and over again. And yet I've been always a believer on the power that it brings in terms of changing lives and empower people, because I've witnessed it firsthand. I think that if you would ask me that question of what has gone wrong, it's just there was no revenue streams. The industry had raised millions, had created unicorns like Axie Infinity and others, known titles like you mentioned, STEPN, and none of them had sustainability in the table. And Blush is going to be here to explain us why we can be sustainable and why we are different from the rest. Blush, mic check. I think that you need to click the unmute button if you see it somewhere on your X screen? If not,
Can you hear me?
okay. Yeah, there you go. We got you, Blush. Thanks for being here, man. Appreciate your time.
Yeah, awesome.
Did you
Okay,
bug?
wow.
Just okay,
This
there
is
you go.
this is a fun experience. I can't lie. Okay, sorry. Choice, can you just recap for me if there was any questions asked?
Yes, 100%. Well, Jason was breaking down the LSM for a code 0. We want to echo what we spoke about in our alpha meeting on Sunday. I think that everybody deserves to know how we're here to change lives. The title of the show is From Gameplay to Middle Class. So what makes the Citadel an Operation Safe Place different from the rest? Like the question from Code 0 was, why gaming, Web3 gaming has been failing and the economic models have been failing over and over again, and what makes us different. Jason was showcasing that when you have an asset based economy, things turn out to be different, and that you need to have an overall view of the whole thing, not just financial or economics, but community and much more. But yeah, I do want you to break it down to us. And I'm going to start with the questions. Like, we've seen unicorns and projects that were known worldwide, like Axie and Stefan, right? And their models didn't work. They all went south, their tokens bleed, their communities mostly disappeared. And the question to get us started is, how are we different, and how can we pick someone with zero resources and maybe just the fun and take them into middle class or somehow a sustainable way of living?
One second there, Choice. There is a connection issue.
Okay, I can answer that one. I think
Yeah.
Leonard is in hell with his first space on the phone. Okay, I'm gonna break it down top to bottom. It should answer a lot of questions. Why we do the things the way we do. Why we don't have a dual token economy. We have got 4 tokens involved. Some of them on chain, some of them off chain, but all of them considered as asset driven solutions to shift and change people's lives. So first you have to understand our motives, our motivation for doing what we do. So number one, we are obsessed. We don't think it's just a nice idea. We don't think it's just something we'd like to do. We are obsessed with changing people's lives financially. Everything that we do is an answer to the question, how do we have a kid, either, he's in Northern Africa or even, anywhere in Africa really, but hyper poverty, Somalia, the kid is maybe in slums in India, favelas, South America, like wherever that kid is, there is no opportunity, because opportunity requires prosperity the generation before you. So we, in designing our economy, have locked into our target economy evolution. In other words, we don't want to just evolve as a we don't just want to evolve financially as a game. Otherwise, we would have gone to Steam and then just made money as a game, and that's that. So we came here because we want to change lives. So that is the first thing. So everything we say moving forward, if you understand that, that is the motive. We want that kid who's got nothing but a phone to have a way to end up with a house and a car and a home and take care of their family and put their kids through university, and And that means we have to start off with every strategy that we can that comes from a zero barrier to entry model. Okay, so let me just walk around because I've got like so many messaging apps here. Okay, right. They all like pull your attention. Everything's urgent. Right. So when we ask that question, how the heck do we do it? We start off with saying, okay, that kid. Let's say that kid comes in to play the game. He has to already come into a place where there's demand. There has to be a community there already. There has to be two types of community: gamers and degens, people who are already Web3 literate. There has to be a token where that kid can generate a reward, a physical reward for his sweat that he puts in. So that is a sweat equity token. In this context, we call it social fi. For those who are listening, you don't really know what social fi is. It's basically a reward for your social activities. So if you share something on Facebook or X or whatever, then there is a kind of a bot or algorithmic system that picks it up and rewards you accordingly as a form of thanks from that company. So in our ecosystem, just for playing the game, we're thanking you. We're thanking the player and saying, listen, jump in, play a game like you normally would, earn gold or silver like you normally would in a game. But what we're going to do is, because you're in that game, you're making the game cool and popular just by being in it. You're helping us generate metrics. We're going to give you an in-game token that you can use to buy assets. So you can't swap that token for money, but what you can do is buy an asset that you can sell to other players. Now, there's the holy grail, that a kid is allowed to, or a player is allowed to sell that asset to other players and get real money for it. Now, you could potentially do this in places like Steam or whatever, but the problem is Steam won't let you take that real money out of Steam. You've got to spend it on games. You could potentially do that on Star Citizen, but they won't let you take that money out of there, because the only way then is grey markets. That money has to stay there. So we came to Web3 because we can do that here. And so you are in the game, you're earning gold and silver like you normally would, you're spending it to buy in-game things like you normally would, or you're killing things or doing quests to earn those things like you normally would, and you will get this in-game currency, which we call courage, which you can now spend. And any of the assets that you got, either you bought it or you did quests and you got these drops, you can sell to other players for an on-chain token. So the reason it is called on-chain is because it's tracked and measured and weighed and balanced and given an actual worth. And that is what a TGE is about. Is that not just a token generation event, but also a tokenized gaming economy. So you receive something that is real dollar worth that you can now, it's called off-ramping, that you can convert into real dollars, and then it gets off-ramped into a bank account. Or, if you can find people who are willing to give you or sell you goods for crypto, that's even better. They'll give you a bigger computer and that kind of thing. So our multiple token economies start even before that, where we've got a founder funnel where there's a meme coin and NFTs on an entire different chain. We'll talk about that either later on a different space. We talk about it every night when we're live, but we will go wherever the degens are, wherever the people are who are busy, understand Web3, understand how tokens work and NFTs work, so that that kid who comes in to play the game has someone to buy his stuff from him, because there will be many people who don't even play our game, and our game will have many players already. Those who are testing it have extraordinary hours. So we're talking Steam game level hours, which is very cool. So we know that the game will have players, but those players need somewhere where there's already a bit of money and a bit of understanding of how NFTs and tokens work. So now, to answer the question, why do most projects not work? Well, number one, it's usually run by either a developer, a game developer, who doesn't understand economics or tokenomics, or doesn't understand how Web3 works, or it is run like by a Web3 guy who's maybe he is a brilliant programmer, he understands contracts, but he doesn't know how to make a game, you know? So, he doesn't know how to build a community. If you want something to succeed, you have to have a plan, a set of milestones. You have to bring down the risk factor as far as you can in every aspect. So if you don't have people who love games designing that game, the risk factor is going to be very high. For us, we love games. Before we were spending 30 hours a day making games, we would play games for 30 hours a day. We love it. We love games. Our community loves games. We are all veterans. This isn't our first rodeo. This isn't our first attempt at business. Usually things fail because people come in, they've never had money before. They get money, and then they're like a drunk man in Vegas with that money. They just like hand it out and spend it. And yeah, most people have to go through that. If you don't grow up with money and you get money for the first time, you underestimate how little a lot of money actually is. And you see that a lot in Web3. People underestimate how little a lot of money actually is. You think $1 million is a lot because you don't have $1 million. When you've got $1 million, you will spend that $1 million so fast that you won't even know what you spent it on. Because keeping $1 million and increasing $1 million is a lot harder than keeping $10 and increasing $10. So if you don't grow up understanding large amounts of money, then an investment can come into your life and it can do nothing for the thing you're working on. And that is what we see in Web3. There's a term in South Africa, alles gewoond, means used to everything. So if you're a kind of a wealthy or at least a middle upper class, or you're doing okay-ish financially, your goal is to raise your kids used to everything so that when they have money, they can learn how to increase that money and not spend it on a thing with a drop suspension, mags, grill in front of the teeth, coke and hookers, private aeroplanes. So what you see in Web3, and the answer to why most of the things fail here, is because most of the people who have seen success, the vast majority, haven't had real money before. Most of them had, like 1,000 Bitcoin and it was worth less than, $4, and they had no idea what the hell it was. And then one day they saw that they were millionaires, and some of them were oblivious for a long time, and suddenly they were billionaires. And then you had a boom, you had an explosion in Web3. Like people were like, yeah, there's this new thing called Ethereum. I'm going to send you some, Mom. I'm going to send you some, my boy. I'm just trading with this. I'm going to send you 500 of this. And then they just forget. And it's a core reason why most things fail is because people who have not had money before suddenly have money, don't know how to increase it. They underestimate the impact of their decisions on the lives of others, which we see often when people will just dump an entire token, when they will launch an NFT collection and then just disappear after they make a lot of money from that NFT collection. They'll launch a game, suddenly they got a lot of money, they don't actually build the game. They've launched the TGE, they've launched whatever it is, but they have no idea what to do next. They don't have a plan beyond getting or having money. So I'll finish my long speech with this. The reason that we have confidence, not only in what we are building, but in what other projects are building in Web3, is because there are a lot more veterans now. There are a lot more people who have failed and have understood now how a lot of money is actually a little bit. There's a lot more people who have got experience. They understand contracts and understand the importance of security. We've seen entire projects fall apart just because someone got hacked. If I was, if we were further along and I was sitting with key wallets for our project, which I no longer do, we would have potentially lost an entire liquidity pool. You just never know. So now we have learned. We have learned. We can all get hacked. We can all get socially engineered. We can all waste money. We can all make stupid mistakes. And we all need to know how to actually make a game. We all need to know how to build a community, all of us, for a thing to succeed. And that is why I really believe we are uniquely positioned, and also why I believe that Web3 gaming literally is going to change the world. As I think it was Kenneth or Blush, one of them said, this for us is the beginning of the end of poverty.
That was a good mic drop. Thanks. You're covering everything on that walk there. But yes, I would like to, while we can summon Blush and get him through his first time on X, I know it's a tough experience, but I would like for somebody to tackle down the difference between courage as a currency versus the traditional play-to-earn tokens. What's the key difference in there, and why is it going to be so important in our ecosystem?
Who was that question for?
I can take it. I do apologize.
Right.
My mouth was full of a pie at the time, as you do. The difference. Well, it's uniquely positioned as a multi-game, in-game currency. Right. The uniqueness of it is that it transcends from being just an in-game currency to a social currency on our platform as well. It means that any user, it's like you can attract. Okay, let me put my thoughts in order here. I confused myself. With games, you always have your whales in games, you have your casual participants in games, you have the people that will every now and then purchase something from a game, or maybe they will grind their way to having enough of a specific currency in a game in order to actually purchase an in-game asset, right? With this, it means that anyone from anywhere can begin their journey with us, obtain their first assets by participating in any one of the projects that we have, be it the platform, be it just interacting socially and earning their points, or earning their currency through social activities, through being a part of our marketing machine, because that is what the community is. The community that serves the community is a marketing machine. And it's one that should be justly rewarded for being a marketing machine. So any user can get a foot in the door by participating in any layer of what we're building. And then they're able to use that currency to begin purchasing their first assets, renting out their first property within the actual Citadel city in the game, and scaling upwards from there. Now, this also means that any normal, let's say a user that has disposable income that wants to fast track their way through certain aspects, they want to be able to purchase in bulk, they can go and buy courage as well. So they can then go and purchase more in-game assets, scale up their clan, their guild, or just their small team of friends. The difference is it's not volatile. It's not volatile, but it allows for that first entry, that first way to participate financially in the ecosystem. That's the biggest differentiator. It's stable in value, and there's zero barrier to entry. Citadel itself as a cryptocurrency will obviously have its volatile moments with the market. I mean, hell, nothing has been spared today, except I think for actually the Funk token, funnily enough. Today has been a really bloody market, but it's our duty as a business to build enough value into what we're building to attract enough people to believe in what we're building, to drive that value of Citadel. Citadel itself will be used with its own staking mechanisms, spending mechanisms, airdrop mechanisms. You know, Citadel is the overarching token that is backed by the overall value of everything that we build. But it's not designed to be an in-game currency. I think that hopefully answers that.
That's a good way to answer it, Jason. I deeply appreciate that response. One thing that comes to mind now that we're talking about having courage as an off-chain currency is often people find ways of hacking games and hacking this type of or sort of in-game currencies. While it's not going to have the layer of security that blockchain will deliver, what's going to ensure our community or our gaming community that the courage that they will get, it's truly earned by interacting with the ecosystem, be it both in social campaigns, be it being active in our different platforms, or by actually playing the game and not by some scammy degen or horrible person that just wants to damage the whole ecosystem. What measurements are we taking with an off-chain currency to keep it safe and protected?
Well, one of the primary ones is being server-side, right? So you are in, like, we as a company, we are in control of the emission of courage. So everything can be reviewed, everything can be monitored, and well, obviously there's layers and layers of security in different aspects, you know, on how game servers are set up, platforms, you know, developed, and all the rest of that. Won't go into detail. I am not a cybersecurity expert. But the thing is, having that manual control over how courage is emitted means that we ultimately have a say in protecting our users, because protecting people and protecting the value of what they have is paramount to us. So we're able to detect, you know, the red flags. If something stands out as, oh, this person should not have just made 1 million courage in a day, something is going on here, you know. So like the systems that are in place to monitor that are really important to us, to make sure that everyone in the ecosystem is actually protected.
Love it, Jay. Thank you. Blush, I see you now on the panel again. I'm going to give you a quick mic check. Oh, remember that you got to tap the unmute button to be able to speak. Good, sir. Alrighty, he's having a tough first time. But I'm going to continue with this combo. So we are now letting our community be aware that safety is paramount. It's one of our key priorities, and that as they invest in our ecosystem, we are passionate about making sure that they don't just get their profits back, but that they also allow others to grow within. The question that's coming now in my head is, and Angst was making it clear, we're taking a little kid in a very sensitive place from poverty to the end of it. I think that this is something that needs to come with two kind of resources. One is the financial one, but the other one is education. What are we implementing within the Citadel and Operation Safe Place to make sure that that person or little one that we're empowering has the tools not just to grow financially, but also to be educated enough to know how to spend his budget or how to climb through the ranks of our economic model to
Cool.
become self-sustainable.
I can take this one. Sorry. So, in our Citadel ecosystem, which many games and investors and stuff, they'll wake up probably a little bit late. No, not too late, for them, but too late to be as rich as we're all going to be. We have got some geniuses. One of those geniuses, our CEO, Rob, his main company, which probably gets less attention than the Citadel and OSP at the moment, but his main company is an online education company. So he has specialized for many years, decades, in training people in accounting and finance management. Blush is also a qualified accountant. And on the Only Belief side, which is also part of the Citadel ecosystem and directorship, our partner Johan is the MD for Only Believe, and he is the prince. Yes, we hear you now. Yeah. Okay. Okay, and so I'll finish the thought, then you can run, go for it, Blush, afterwards. So Johan is the head of, Princeton, the university in the States. He's the head for Princeton in Africa. So then there's also General Kev on our team, who also specializes in training. So Rob alone has placed more than 9,000 to 10,000 people in jobs, not just trained people, but actually placed people in jobs. So, on our side of things, we've had hundreds of internships, blah, 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 but that's not as impressive as these other guys. So with our team, we are building out a step-by-step module-based, it's kind of a, let's call it a almost on-chain university where you get paid to study and you'll earn courage studying. So I mean, this is major alpha, but we will drop those details later, but there will be a full-on course where you arrive in our ecosystem and you are trained in everything from Web 2 to Web 3 to understanding fiat, to understanding Web 3, to understanding the tax implications in your own nations, so that you don't pay things like capital gains tax and dividends. And, in America, in the United States, if you pull crypto out of your, not out of your bum, out of your wallet, but to them it looks like it came magically out of somewhere, and they treat it like it's a security. They treat it like it's this investment, and they tax you hard. In the UK, they'll hit you up to 60% if they think that crypto was part of an investment. So people have to understand money, and it is our utter passion to make sure that people come into our ecosystem and get trained from one end to the other, and just for being willing to actually learn, we'll reward them in courage, which is what Blush is here to talk about.
Please tell me everybody can still hear me.
Yep.
You're a bit echoey, but yep.
Wonderful. Hello, my one. This wonderful X-Space.
No,
I have managed to sort out my hellscape that is trying to speak tonight through this wonderful app.
What
Okay,
you're distorting a bit though. You're like, I don't know. Are you on your mic or on your phone?
on my phone.
Oh, so you just mic your just a little bit further away, and then it won't distort. There we go. Nice.
Okay, cool. I'll just swap to earpiece instead. Okay. So awesome. So I know in the beginning of the space, Senior Choice brought up a topic, a term rather that he brought up. Essentially, what he said is LSM. So what LSM means? It means Living Standard Measure, and we have based the entire economy model of the Citadel, of everything that we are doing, off of LSMs. So essentially what LSM means is, as I just mentioned, it's called Living Standard Measure, and that is essentially a scale that the World Bank uses to rate the different living standards of countries across the planet. So for example, obviously, the more first world countries like your America, like your England, European countries, those countries would have higher LSMs because obviously the income per individual in those countries would be a lot higher than it would be in some of the more poorer areas of the world, like some South American countries, African countries, some countries in Asia. So obviously they just rank the different living standards of different individuals in different countries around the planet. So what we have done at the Citadel is we have based the entire economy model off of the lowest LSM on a global scale. So each country will have their own LSM. So obviously each one will be ranked according to the different income levels of each citizen in that country. But because all roads lead to the Citadel, we have decided to go on a global scale or a global measurement. So we're not targeting a specific country like South Africa, where we are, like Colombia, where Senior Choice is. So we're not targeting a specific country, we're targeting the planet as a whole, so that truly and genuinely any individual that decides to partake in our ecosystem, in the Citadel, in anything that we do, has a chance to utilize, or has the opportunity to utilize what we are building and utilize what we are providing to genuinely better themselves and their situation in which they find themselves, be it, I mean, it can be an extremely poor individual who is genuinely struggling to survive on a daily, to someone who is comfortable. There's no barriers to entry. Now, I know you heard Unc say that as well, and I'm going to reiterate it for you guys. Again, there is absolutely zero barrier of entry for anybody looking to partake in what we are doing in the Citadel, in anything that we do. There is a zero barrier to entry. There's no such things as cliques or preferential treatment, nothing like that. Everybody has a chance, everybody has an opportunity, and everybody is here to, firstly, obviously, look after themselves, better their own situation, better their own living standard measure, and then obviously also to build the community and to build that foundation, which is our community, which is our ecosystem, through participating, through whatever form of activity you're going to be doing, playing the game, reacting on social, jumping on this space and listening to us ramble about for about an hour, 2 hours, seeing me go through the absolute hell of trying to connect here. Whatever form it takes for you to participate in our ecosystem is truly what matters the most. So just to go back a bit, we have based the entire economy off of the LSM model, which is we've chosen the lowest LSM on a global scale. So essentially what that means is we have chosen the poorest LSM, which is an extreme poverty rate, and that is about $2.50 per day for an individual. So an individual in that LSM needs about $2.50 a day, about $65 a month in areas like that to just basically survive. That is nothing extra, that's nothing gained, it's nothing put away, it's nothing spent on trying to better themselves in any way or better their situation. That is purely on them trying to survive on a daily and monthly basis. That is what we have built the foundation of the economy of the Citadel on. So essentially what that means, because I know I don't have too much time. So essentially what that means is any individual that does join the Citadel has an opportunity, well, especially now these types of individuals, they have the opportunity to partake in our ecosystem, in what we're building, and pull themselves up, or rather not pull themselves up, but climb up the LSM ladder, climb up a ladder, which we have provided the opportunity for, to pull themselves out and to climb themselves out of the situation that they are in and to better their lives, better their family lives, look after themselves, look after their family, look after their loved ones, friends, whatever it might be, whatever form that might take for any individual. That is what we have built the Citadel from, or built the Citadel on. And I know you guys, a lot of people here are very familiar with Anki is an absolute incurable altruist. So when I brought this to him, or brought it to his attention, that is what we've built the Citadel from, the squeals and the happy squeaks and the laughs and everything you guys should have heard in that call about how happy he was, like genuinely, truly happy that we've built an economy to assist literally anybody on this planet to better themselves by just partaking in our economy. The happiness that filled this man, I wish all of you could have heard it, because it was truly the most natural, effortless, and beautiful thing you could have heard, just how happy he was to hear that we are going to help people. And we are providing that opportunity to help people to, like I said, better themselves, look after their family, look after their loved ones, their friends, whatever form that might take. And essentially how that's going to work in the Citadel, in our ecosystem, is through, firstly, participation. So participation will look like I mentioned earlier, playing the game on a daily basis, hopping on spaces like this, sharing any social posts and whatever we do across all of these different social media platforms, be it X, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok. We have a whole array that we're posting on. And then also this part will be to come, but just to join the Discord, to join our ecosystem, to take part in any social activities that we do, get the game, get the alpha, download it if you're able to play it. We'll have a mobile coming soon. So that's also a way that individuals who don't really have a gaming PC who can run the proper OSP game at the moment, that is a way that you can also partake in the gaming aspect of what we're doing, because as Ank mentioned earlier, we are all gamers. We love games. I mean, before we started this and before I jumped in, as Ank mentioned, I would sit with him and with Rob, and we would play games for hours on end, to the point where Ank wanted to wear his monitor as a necklace in some of the activities that we've done. But yeah, so we truly are dedicated gamers. We love games. We've been gaming for a long time. So yeah, that mobile will be coming soon, and people who don't really have a gaming PC can also partake in some game activities that we're going to be doing, and that'll hold the same weight as someone playing on PC. So that again goes back a little bit to the no barriers to entry that we were mentioning. is that even if you don't have a gaming PC, 100% cool. You can download the mobile, you can play the mobile, you're still going to get access to all of your NFTs, to Courage, to the infusions, everything that is in the ecosystem, you are still going to be able to get access to, even on a mobile phone. There's absolutely nothing barred from you. There's nothing kept from you. The only thing is we would recommend the PC version because, I mean, who doesn't want to run around, you know, in the PC version of that and actually be fighting those things. So yeah, but besides that, there's no barrier for you guys. There is nothing kept from anybody who's going to be playing on mobile or playing on another version that we're going to be bringing out. So yes, just to then go back again a little bit, is that participation system is going to allow anybody to come in, to take part, and to start earning. And that earning is going to take the form of courage. So you're going to be able to earn courage by playing the game, partaking in these social activities, jumping on the Discord, doing some quests. There'll be some more things in the future coming, because one massive thing for us at the Citadel here is, I'm sure you guys are sick of hearing it at this point, but is community. Our community is our biggest cornerstone, and that is what we build for in everything that we do. So our community is the most important part of our entire vision, our entire mission, and everything that we do is community focused first. In our ecosystem, which obviously is our community, but yeah, so those two hand in hand is our community and our ecosystem, and then after that comes everything else. And in what I just mentioned, by the community being important, some future things that will come for some courage earnings will be some factors where you can help community individuals maybe understand something a bit better, or help them with some questions that they have, or point them in the right directions, that sort of thing, because that's a massive part for us, to be so inclusive that, I mean, anybody coming from any corner of wherever it might be can participate and can understand what's going on. I mean, I myself, I am incredibly Web 2. There's still a lot of this Web3 crypto stuff that I myself struggle to still understand. So that is also a big thing for me, is to be so inclusive that even individuals such as myself coming in that have no understanding of anything Web3 or crypto, whatever it might be, can get involved and can join a space where they feel welcome, where they feel included, where they feel that, okay, cool, I can actually participate here and actually build something for myself. That is so important for us here. So yeah, I keep going a little tangent, sorry for that. So then some other ways you guys can earn courage also is by holding your assets. So what that looks like at the moment is going to be your NFTs that you hold and your properties that you hold. So many of our community members at the moment hold properties based on investments and some things that they've done in the past, just some sweat equity, as Rob likes to say, because that is also something here at the Citadel, is we truly like to look at individuals and anybody who wants to get involved and truly put in that work, put in that sweat, put in that blood and tears and joy and crying and screaming. I mean, I'm here almost eating my phone because I can get into this X space to chat to you all about this awesome economy that we're building here. So any individual that is truly committed and truly looking to get involved, I mean, that at the UK, you can reach out to any of us on the team. So Rob, Andrew, Jason, myself, you guys can reach out and have a chat to us, and we can see where exactly you can fit in and what exactly it is that you're able to do. I mean, someone as incredible as your choice that we are so happy to have on the team at the moment. I mean, this guy is awesome. I love his energy. I love the way he talks. He set up this space. I mean, he's been patient with me tonight to try and get into this space and talk to you guys. But yeah, someone like Senior Choice has joined the team because we saw how absolutely awesome and of a gifted individual he is and how driven he is. And yeah, I mean, he's just a cool guy.
I'm gonna have to stop
But
you,
regardless,
Glo.
so
I will stop you for a moment right there. I appreciate all the flowers, but I want to pick your brain a little bit because I've been in this space since 2021, and that feels like a whole century for someone in Web3, right? And we've witnessed opportunities that came for people coming from developing places, sensitive areas, poor areas, right? I used to coach people from Venezuela, Cuba, Ecuador, Argentina, the Philippines, Indonesia. These guys will flood once they hear about what we're building here. We're probably gonna have people trying to jump into our ecosystem like a new person every 3-4 seconds because it's so crazy it was back in 2021 with Axie Infinity unlocking revenue opportunities to people that didn't have them before. Now, the question here is, how are we going to make sure, and Uncle was going a little bit into this with his earlier brand, but I want you to break it down to us. How are we making sure that we will generate enough revenue to empower as many individuals on so many places across the globe? If the amount of individuals that is coming to get value of the Citadel, it's going to be bigger than the amount of individuals that maybe is coming to invest in the ecosystem. How are we balancing this equation? And then to go deeper into this, how is the owning of properties and the things that we have placed for courage going to play this key role on balancing the economy for it to be long-term sustainable?
okay, awesome. You can still hear me, right?
We do, loud and clear.
Fantastic. Awesome. So to essentially answer your question on how the earnings are going to be working in Citadel, essentially it's going to be, just to go back to what I was busy saying, it's going to be a way they can participate in this ecosystem, in this economy, in what we are building here. And it's, like I mentioned also, it's going to be very much so a system based on how driven and how committed you are to the ecosystem as a whole. So if you partake in all of the activities that we do, if you partake in the game, let me see. Is that a bit better, Jason?
Yep. Yes, it is.
Awesome. Sorry, that threw me off a little bit. Yes, so anybody, it's going to be very much based on how committed and how everything that we make as an opportunity for you. And like I mentioned, that's going to be participating in the game, quests, activities, social things, helping the community in general. That's going to play the biggest and the most massive part of the entire system. And it's also going to heavily depend on holding your assets and reinvesting into the economy and reinvesting into the Citadel. And that is going to take form such as buying your NFTs, buying things like your Lucille's, like your Katsus, which you're going to be dropping in a little bit. It's going to be holding those assets. It's going to be holding your funkies, holding your funk tokens, that sort of thing. And also by holding your properties. So I'd say almost everybody at this point knows about the NFTs and holding those. So I'd really like to move the conversation more to the properties at this point. So essentially how that's going to work is when you hold a property in the Citadel and with us in our ecosystem, you are going to be able to earn passive rate on that property. And that'll look like, for example, on your outermost, I'll just focus on this for now. On your outermost ring of the Citadel, that's going to be something like 2,000 courage that you can get on a monthly basis. And it's very, very important for us that you do make sure to stay very involved in the ecosystem, to actively participate, and to make sure that the land that you hold is always alive and busy and occupied. And that'll take the form of renting out your land if you do hold property. It'll take the form of renting out your land, renting out your plot, renting out your buildings, your shops, whatever it's going to be that you hold. It's going to take the form of renting that out to different players in the ecosystem that obviously then want to rent your property to either just have a house for themselves, have a shop where they can do things, have their own little space that they can call their home in the Citadel, which obviously then they can customize however they'd like. And that is also a massive part for us, is that customization element. But we won't get too much into that right now. So, for example, if you look at the outermost ring of the Citadel, that's going to be about 2,000 courage that you can ask for rent in total on that property a month. And how that's going to work is it's going to be split into vacant and tenanted property amounts, or tenanted rent amounts, sorry. And so what that means is if you have someone that is renting your land from you, you're going to be able to earn 80% of the total courage earnings from that piece of land, be it whatever piece of land you hold in the Citadel, from the outermost ring to the innermost ring. It's based essentially on a 80-20 system. And if your property is not tenanted, you're going to be earning 20% of your land on a monthly basis, and about 10%, sorry, and about 20% always will go back into the Citadel, back into the ecosystem, so that we can keep a healthy economy, keep a healthy ecosystem going with the courage earnings, and obviously to help just keep things reasonable and healthy in the sense of having the numbers and all of that make sense and to balance. So just to recap that again, because I know it's a bit hard if I'm not showing any visuals for you guys to have a look at. For example, on your outermost properties, you're going to be able to earn 2,000. That's your maximum potential that you can earn on an outer property. It's about 2,000 courage a month. Your goal is to make sure that any property that you hold, be it from the outermost ring to the innermost core, is always tenanted, which means it's always rented. It's always going to have some form of player activity on it, in it, and always be active. And if you have a property and you have it rented, you're going to be able to earn 80% of that total. So what that looks like is, if it's 2,000 maximum earnings potential and you rent it out, and 80% of that 2,000, it's going to be 1,600 in total you can earn from that. And then the other 400 is obviously going to go back into the Citadel ecosystem, like I mentioned, just to keep the economy and the ecosystem healthy. If that property is empty, you're going to only earn 10% of the maximum earning potential that you can from that piece of land or from that plot, your building, your shop, whatever it's going to be. And that is going to be about 200 courage. So yes, like I said, I know it's a bit hard to visualize conceptually if I'm not showing you guys any visuals. But all you need to know at this point in time is get as many assets as you can, hold those assets, and with strictly regarding your land and your plot assets, always make sure that they are rented or tenanted. Make sure that there's always player activity in and on them, so that you can earn the maximum courage potential that you can on a monthly basis from those plots, from those buildings, whatever it is that you hold in property with the Citadel. Your goal is always going to be to make sure that you rent out your land. And that is what we truly recommend, because as I mentioned, if you do want to earn the maximum potential, make sure you rent it out. So that is going to be your land aspect of earning courage. And as I mentioned previously, you can also earn courage by participating in the ecosystem, be it any social activities, playing the game, community activities, quests, those sorts of stuff. You can also earn courage there. We'll bring out some things in the field, like I mentioned, where you can also earn courage. And now to move away from earning, and I'll also obviously let me not forget holding your assets, holding your NFTs is also going to provide you a daily courage earning that you can get off of those. So now to move away from earning, just to quickly recap this, because I know the space is going for quite a while. So the other aspect of courage besides earning is going to be twofold. It's going to be investing. Let me just pull it up here so that I can give you guys an awesome rendition here. It's going to be investing and exit. So essentially what that's going to look like is we have provided quite a few ways that you guys are going to be able to spend your courage, be it through buying packs. That's your major spend at the moment that you guys can use your courage on. So essentially how that looks is you're going to be able to buy a pack, and in that pack we have about 5-ish different packs at the moment, and that's going to look like your starter pack. It's going to be about 5,000 courage, 3 cards in it. Your standard pack is about 6,000 courage. It's about another 3 cards. You can earn all 5 rarities from those cards. Your premium pack is going to be about 12,000 courage. So you're also going to be able to, well, in that pack it's 5 cards, and you're guaranteed 2 rares. With the other 3 cards, you can get any rarity. Also, your collector's pack is going to be about 50,000 courage, and it's about 10 cards in there. You're going to get 1 guaranteed legendary in that, and the other 9 you can get any one of the other, or any rarity rather, from those 9 cards. And then your Mythic Vault pack is going to be a mix between a courage spend and a dollar spend that you guys can get some guaranteed exotics and ultra exotics in. I'm not sure if Twisted Tinker is here or if he's listening, but yeah, I'm sure he'll pull about 3 to 12 ultra exotics out of every pack that he opens. So I have no doubt about that. But yeah, so your major courage spend at the moment that you guys can use is going to be the packs. And in the future, we're going to be bringing out things like your cosmetics, some customization aspects, event participations, community utility. So that's going to be like your guild upgrades, some guild customizations and things you guys can do with your guilds as well. And besides packs and the other activities or the other spends that I mentioned at the moment, your other biggest spend for your courage, and why courage is also so massively important for us, is going to be the infusion system. So our infusion system, we are working on it at the moment. We're getting it built out properly. And essentially what the infusion system means, to give you guys quite a quick cap of that, is we're going to be, or there's a system in our ecosystem where each NFT is going to be, you're going to be able to infuse each NFT with 25 other NFTs. So each slot in that infusion system will give the NFT that you've chosen to infuse extra bonuses. Be it things like extra damage, health, healing, those sorts of things. But all you need to know for now at this point with the infusion system is it's a way for you guys to choose a single card, single NFT, and to upgrade that, to boost it with other NFTs that you have in your inventory, in your wallets, to make that as strong as you possibly can. And for the infusion, for upgrading, for merging, for essentially everything that you're going to be doing with the infusion system, you're going to be using courage for that. You're going to be spending courage for that. So courage and earning courage is quite a large, important part of our ecosystem, because I'm sure as you guys have noticed now, PAX and infusion system is going to be a massive part and very, very important. So that's what we have planned out at the moment for how you're going to be earning and spending courage. And just to go back now to what we were talking about with the LSM model, the way that these individuals and essentially anybody in the ecosystem is going to be able to utilize and use the opportunity that we provide through the Citadel and through our ecosystem to climb the ladder, climb the LSM ladder from poverty to stability to reinvestment, and then to more of a middle class, let's call it safe position, where then they can obviously think about more than just surviving on a daily basis. Like I mentioned to you guys earlier, that $2.15 that they need on a daily, about $65 a month that they need on a daily, that's just pure survival. So we want to provide, and we are trying our best to provide a system and an opportunity where that they can then move past that stage of survival into a stage of stability and growth. And that looks like being able to take care of themselves and their surroundings in whatever form that might take. So that system is built off of what I mentioned to you guys now, with the entry, which is going to be earning your courage, investing, which is going to be then investing your courage into things like buying packs, and then exit. And that exit's going to look like that individual, they come into the ecosystem, no barriers to entry, they partake in everything that we have available, playing the game, doing the quests, community things, whatever they're able to do or whatever they are driven and committed to do. They partake in these activities, they earn their courage, they buy their pack, they obviously open it, they get the NFTs, they list those NFTs on the market, and then they will sell those NFTs for Citadel, which then they will obviously off-ramp that Citadel for real-world currency, which then they can use to obviously take care of their surroundings, help themselves survive, and to obviously further develop and climb that LSM ladder. That is how the flow looks. It's entry, entry, stability, reinvestment, and then exit. At the moment, if somebody like that individual in that place comes in, their flow is going to be entry, stability, and then exit. Because what they're going to be doing, just to get themselves to a point where they can think more and rather be able to think more than just survival, is they need to get themselves up to a point where they can earn about $65 to $90 a month through our ecosystem for themselves to get through that LSM ladder, or to get up that LSM ladder, rather, to then develop themselves and their surroundings so that they can reinvest into the Citadel and be able to truly do more for themselves and to generate more assets, get more assets for themselves, than rather to just having to buy the pack, sell the NFTs, and then off-ramp that money so that they can take care of themselves. And that model, it looks the same for everybody in the ecosystem, not just for these individuals. It's truly the same for everybody. So it's you entry, which means you earn your courage. You're going to reinvest that courage into buying the packs. Either you want to hold those NFTs or you want to sell those NFTs. It's entirely up to you. They are your assets. You can do with them whatever you'd like. And that was something that's also very important for us here at the Citadel, is that everything that you earn, you own. Every asset is yours. It's yours to do with as you please. We don't borrow anything from you. We don't hold anything from you. We don't stop you from doing anything. It's your assets to do with as you please. They're entirely your own. And we truly believe in that because we want to provide a system where everything that you are able to earn, be it in-game, through our ecosystem, they are truly, truly, truly your assets, and truly you can do with them as you please. And just to recap for you guys, the entire Citadel economy is built off of our LSM model. And that LSM model, we want to provide the opportunity to every individual on this planet. I think I heard Unk earlier while I was going through my hell of trying to connect, using the example of a kid in Somalia gets a cell phone, or Boxberg, or whatever else, Uncle, I can hear him typing already, wherever else Unk thinks about individuals. Whoever on the planet genuinely can get a cell phone, they can download the mobile game. If they're unable to download the mobile game, they can already start just participating and taking part in the community, be it, like I said, part of our posts, our quests, being active, that sort of thing. They can already participate in the ecosystem and start earning courage with zero barriers to entry. They don't need anything except a cell phone to start with, where they can start earning their courage. They can start spending their courage. They can start opening those packs. They can start using those NFTs. They can sell them. They can get that real world currency where they can then take care of themselves, take care of their situation, their family, their loved ones. And in everything that we do, the only guarantee that we make is that we build community and ecosystem focused. And in saying that, we don't tolerate any, how can I put it?
Bad type.
I think, what's the word Uncle used? FUD. I think it's FUD. So that's what, fear, uncertainty, and doubt. We don't tolerate anything like that in our ecosystem or in our community, because everything that we do here, we build in the light. I mean, I'm sure many of you have seen how many times we've been sitting in the Discord. We develop the game, we talk about future plans, we talk about anything. People like Norego, Broden, Juna, Twisted, they're always in the Discord. That they'll see me and Rob sitting there, or me and Andrew, or me and Jason, or whoever will be sitting there. They'll just join the Discord and they will hear us ramble on for hours and talk about stuff. And me and Rob will call each other fat. And they'll just listen to us build and talk and develop and plan for hours on everything that we're doing. So we truly, our goal at the Citadel and everything we do is community and ecosystem focused. And that is where our loyalty lies. That is where our goals lie, is we do everything for our community, for our ecosystem. And we want to provide, we are doing our best to provide an opportunity for everybody on the planet to get involved and to genuinely and truly better their position, be it whatever form that might take, because in saying all of this, all roads lead to the Citadel, and all those roads that lead to the Citadel, we want to provide an opportunity that sounds like the beginning of the end of poverty.
Oh my man, I'm so
Thank
happy
you.
that you figure out the way to make your X work, because that was fire. I didn't even want to stop you because you broke it down on the same beautiful way you did last Sunday. So now it's recorded and it's on X where the DJs are and where people looking for opportunities are also. So loved it, Blush. Thank you so much for making the time to hop in the stage and to drop all of the alpha that you just brought to make it clear, to give clear answers to the questions that I know many community members would have and newcomers will have as to what is the sustainability, why the model works, why we can empower someone regardless of where they're coming from. To hype the space a little up, even though we're going above the hour, we're running a ducky race right after we wrap up the space. We'll play some beats from Joshua, and then we're gonna, how about just for a few minutes on the arena stream is where the race will take place. But everybody who wants to participate, we already got more than 11 people on the list. You just have to retweet the X space. You have to comment with your EVM Say compatible wallet, and that's it. You're in for the race to participate for one amazing rare Tower NFT, already usable and tradable and ready to be listed in the marketplace if you want to sell. But I don't think it's a wise move after listening to what you just listened. So you better hold. But yes, you can become the next holder of a rare Tower NFT that is going to be really cool looking, like everything we built. So if you haven't done so, go click the purple pill, retweet the room, comment. Your name will be on the race, and we're going to add you so that you can participate.
For the people to have some time, I want to throw one more question your way. And this one is for the future. You're over Vision League. So let's imagine this scenario. Someone kills the bad guy in our game, one of those huge bosses that will need lots of people to defeat, and earns courage, and it's able to buy bread for their family. What does that world look like in about 5 years, if we can go that far?
Okay, I think I'm muted. Awesome. That was a question for me, right?
The rug, I'm sorry, guys. Okay, I'm back. I'm going to throw the question again. Did you guys get the announcement of the docu race we're going to run on the arena show? Was that part clear? Okay, good. The second question, it's for Onks, because he's our vision lead, and I want him to go into a closing rant here. And that question is about, as our vision lead, I want him to imagine that some random guy being part of one of our clans in the game, it's able to take down to one of those big bosses that is going to give plenty of courage. And that guy is going to be able to get bread for himself and his family. And I want him to tell me what that world looks like in about 5 years, if we can go that far into the future.
Sorry, I was struggling to hear a bit there, but I think I understood the question. How taking down a big boss can change someone's life. Again, remembering that everything we do is we literally came here to change lives. So we ask that question all the time while we're working on our financial models. Like, how do we change people's lives? How do we do that? And that's what I want to see on all the streams everywhere. I want you to type out, we came here to change people's lives. So on Arena Social, I want to see it. Yeah, on X, I want to see it. I want to see it wherever you are. Facebook, on YouTube, if you're watching the X streams, if you're on Twitch, we came here to change people's lives. And that's exactly what we'd like. To take down those massive, massive bosses. you will need to be in a clan. There's rarely going to be something of real worth that you can take down by yourself. Those things will exist, but you're going to need to be in clans to take down the things that have, like 1,000,000 courage for a kill. And when a clan tackles something, or a fire team, let's say a raid tackles something, there's 10 of them. Maybe they'd get 1,000,000 courage as a team for killing that thing. Then they got to farm that thing together 10 times. They climb in there and they say, okay, this is the senior choice run, and off you go. And then they kill it. And then next up, it's the blush run, and they go and they kill it. Next up, it's this one. And every time they kill it, everybody's getting 200K, 200K, 200K. And by the time, those 10 people have those people have like 10 kills. They've all got like 1,000,000 courage, which allows them to buy a prestige NFT. And a prestige NFT, the value, if you have to buy it from the OSP shop, will be $1,000. So we're not sure what players will be selling it each to, what kind of demand there would be. I'm sure a lot of players will be putting it on the marketplace. But if they want to go up against those massive ones, if other people want to go up against those massive ones, they're going to need those prestige NFTs themselves. So I imagine that, enough players present, enough demand present, it would be hundreds and hundreds of dollars cash, for one of those prestige NFTs. So, what happens when you kill that thing? So I imagine a lot of whooping and hollering and hugging each other and crying and dancing and throwing of shirts into the air, and because imagine being in a sweaty full-time raid team, so you're in a big company made up of, it's like a big clan, like 1,000 people in that clan. And your goal is to say, okay, we want to earn, $1,000 a week for each of our members. That's the kind of thing that we want to achieve. We want people to have those kind of goals. They say, this is our full-time job, boys. Like, we're professional soldiers. So you need to get out there and do push-ups, get your mouse hand working. You got to make sure that you're eating well, that you're bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, because taking these monsters down takes focus and strategy, etc., etc., etc. And they're not easy. It's not easy, to give you an example of what you're going to be fighting. A common thing that you fight is just dumps, like, fighting Pyrothor at the moment, this flying dragon. If you just go through the normal story mode, you should be able to kill him with intention, just give him a angry look and he should more or less die. I mean, he's not that easy, but he's easy. He's easy enough that if you just know how to use some of your turrets, you can take him down. When you want to fight him so that he actually drops a rare card, you're going to need a rare loadout. If you want to fight him so that he drops a legendary card, or with a chance for an exotic, you're going to need a full rare loadout. Like, that infusion rating has to be pretty high. Then if you want him to drop an exotic, you're going to need a crack team already, because when you fight him on exotic, you see, at common, he only had HP, he only had like normal life. At rare, suddenly he's got armor as well. At legendary, now he's got shields as well. Now on exotic, if you want him to drop exotics with a chance to drop an ultra exotic, you got some real problems here, because he is now a large language model. He's a bot, and he's able to read your entire team's history and then adjust his armor, his his shields and his HP according to the team stats that are facing him. And now, if you want him to drop ultra exotics with a chance for a prestige, very small chance for a prestige, but if you want him to drop those things, he is going to talk to you. He's gonna, like as a large language model, he's gonna look at you and say, "Senior choice, I notice that you are a glass cannon hiding at the back there, like hoping that the tank can keep aggro off you. Well, buddy, you are my project for this fight." All the healers and everybody have to keep Senior choice, because he's going to focus you and he's going to talk to you and taunt you and make fun of you and discourage you all the way through that fight. So those teams have to really be sharp, and when they kill one of those ultra exotic level bosses, you know, the rewards will be incredible. But I tell you, there will be dancing and singing and the throwing of hats and t-shirts and bras in the air, socks everywhere, pegs will be pegged onto ears, people will be wearing cauliflower hats. There will be a lot of joy. Amen.
Love that, Anx. I think that's the best way to wrap up this space. We're here to change lives, and that's what we're gonna do. I'm so excited to be part of this team, to be part of this wholesome community, to be surrounded by people that is so giving. You know, yesterday we ran some ducky races. People won the rewards, and they just like, no, pass it to the next one, pass it to the next one. Like, you don't see this type of wholesome communities often in Web3. So you guys amplify the message. You came to the right place, and the moment to join is now. You're a little late, but not that late. You're still on time to be part and take part of what's coming. So I appreciate everyone who jumped in. We ran for almost 2 hours. I invite everyone who already retweeted, commented, and participated to go back to the arena. We're gonna be
streaming
some of the
arena, guys,
and we can
the
StreamYard.
wrap up the day with some lucky races to get our community pumped, to prove them and show them that we're a giving community and that everybody's got a chance to win
I will try to
just by showing that,
guys,
even though we are still on the early days.
Wrap
Yes,
up the
that's
day
the
with
total
some
we're building
lucky
here.
races to
All of
get
the
our
roads
community
to
pumped,
Citadel.
to prove that
I'll pass the back around for some final thoughts.
everybody's got the chance to win
Citadel,
just by
it's
showing
on,
them.
and you're
Even though we're
behind the
still in
account.
the early
Any
days.
final words
But yes,
about
don't sleep
all
on
the
what
alpha
we're
that
building
was dropped
here.
today?
All the roads lead to
Breakdown
Citadel.
that we
I'll
performed
pass the
today
mic
for
around for some
to
final thoughts.
really deeply
Jay,
understand
the
what we're
Citadel,
building here and
it's
how the
on.
economic model
You're
works.
behind
So
the
we can
account.
take
Any
people
final words
and
about
end
all the
it.
alpha that was dropped today? All of the breakdown
Final
that
words,
we
because
performed today
you
for our
asked,
community
you know,
to
5 years
really
from now,
deeply understand what we're
and not
building
even
here
5
and how
years
the
from
economic
now,
model works.
like the
So we
role
can take people out
of
of poverty and end
games,
it.
mini games, experiences. Final words, because you asked, you know, 5 years from now,
Everything.
and not even
Assets,
5 years from now,
the farming of
the
assets,
rollout of
the
games, mini games, experiences, everything in the
You guys still
ecosystem
hear
that we're
Jason?
building is connected.
titles,
Everything.
versions,
Assets, the farming of assets, the utility of assets, everything. The utility will just grow and grow as we roll out more and more titles, game versions as well. So OSP, Tower Defense,
the universe
that is our first title. It's our flagship. It's our baby.
the only people that get
But that
to
leads to
decide,
more.
you
It
know,
leads
what the
to more mobile titles. It leads to more PC titles. The universe that we're building is immense,
build and build
and
because
the only people that get to essentially decide, you know, what the scope is us, and we don't care about scope.
Passionate tower defense
We
player,
will continue to build and build and build
experience
because it's what we love doing. So releasing titles for all flavors,
titles across everything that we do.
you know, if someone is a passionate tower defense player, fantastic.
So the
If somebody wants a roguelite experience,
IP,
the pipeline.
the assets,
Someone is a hardcore mobile gamer,
there's only growth
multiple
ahead
mobile titles
because
across
we love
everything that we
rolling
do.
out experiences
That includes all the IPs that we have. So the Funk token, the Funk IP, the assets there. There's only growth ahead because we love rolling out experiences that bring joy to people. We want our games to be enjoyed by everyone, so we build for everyone. Our end goal is just to have an absolute behemoth of an entertainment company that at the same time actually gives back to communities, helps build up communities, and helps educate communities. And I'll leave it on that. Anyone that has any questions, wants to inquire about how they can support, participate, whatever, all of our DMs are always open. We're always looking to bring in more people to what we're doing, be it through investment, be it through participation, be it through whatever. Our doors are always open. So thank you very much for listening into to today's space, and get your butts over to the arena for the duck race.
Love it, Jay. Thank you so much. Appreciate those final thoughts. Really good. Indeed, we encourage everybody to echo the words and to bring as many friends and family members and people that you might know. You never know who you know who's going to come here and get the things even wilder and crazier than they already are. Alrighty. Blush. I'm happy that I was your first time for the X Spaces. It was an honor to see you struggling and get through it. Appreciate you big time, my man. You dropped so much alpha today, and you did it in a fantastic way. Listening to your voice is refreshing and entertaining, and it was a beautiful rant. Any final words or call to actions to our amazing community?
Awesome. Thank you, Senior Choice. Just from my side, just to build off of what Jason said with regards to our scope is always has been yes. So if you guys ask what we're busy with, what we're building, what we're planning, what we're doing, the answer is always yes, because that truly encompasses the magnitude of what we are doing is yes. And my call to action for everybody listening, everybody involved, it's simply come join us at the Citadel, join the Discord, join the spaces, join our social posts, all of these things. Just get yourself involved, get everybody and everybody that you know involved, and just participate in the Citadel, in our ecosystem, in our community, because what we are doing here, what we are building, we are here to change lives, and we are doing it not on the backs of our community, we are doing it on the backs of our company. So thank you so much for listening today. Thank you so much for giving us the time to have a chat with you guys. Thank you, Choice, for having the patience with me today with all of these technical difficulties I've been having. It was awesome to have a bit of a chat with the community. And some final words from myself is get involved, guys. We are building something truly awesome here.
Amazing, Blush. Appreciate you big time. Thank you for coming. I hope it's not going to be the last one. Now you know how to roll with X, so we're going to be expecting you on the following weeks. Unks, before we play some beats and give some time to the people to go back to the arena show, any call to actions, you always give them, but now your sales only lens. Pass you the mic to wrap us up.
There are two kinds of people in Web3. Those who own Funk and are in our ecosystem. And I'm not saying everybody else is stupid, but there are signs. I mean, I would never call people stupid, but I am saying that there are signs. Don't be short-sighted. Come in and stop hanging out with the casinos and come work with us. We're building something that's predictable and secure. And also, like Senior Choice just said, get your ducks over to Arena Social for the butt race.
Love it, Unks. Thank you so much. Thanks for everybody for tuning in. Now, community powered beats by Joshua. 1, 2, 3 songs while we get all the people into the arena. The link is pinned at the top on the Jumbotron, so you're going to be able to see arena.social/live/Uncle Funk. It's already pinned at the top. No excuses. See you all there. And we'll be getting a docu-race in a few minutes. Thank you for tuning in. Let's listen to some beats. Appreciate you all big time. Much love. And let's keep making this community the cult of awesomeness, which is already, but let's amplify and make it grow nonstop because the sky's the limit. Love you, everyone. Thank you for being here.
So gay. My bun is white.